1865, the end of the Civil War, pages 13 through 15. The killing of President Lincoln. The United States remained united, yet the North's joy over its victory in the war soon turned back to mourning. On April 14, 1865, John Wilkes Booth gained entrance to the Lincoln's private box at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., as the president and his wife Mary sat watching a play. Booth fired a single shot into Lincoln's head and then jumped down to the stage. The unconscious Lincoln was taken across the street to a private house. He died early the next morning. Booth was an actor who was fiercely opposed to both Lincoln and abolition. He was part of a group that sought revenge for the defeat of the Confederacy. They planned to kill not only Lincoln, but also Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward. As it turned out, only Lincoln was killed, though. Seward received serious knife wounds. Union troops tracked Booth and another man to a farm in Virginia. Booth was shot to death. Others and his group were later tried for their crimes. 4 men were found guilty and hanged. Lincoln's body was sent on a funeral train back to his home state of Illinois. Although gone, Lincoln lived long enough to achieve his main goal, saving the Union and ending slavery. The legacy of the Civil War. The end of the Civil War also began the next chapter in the history of the United States. By December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment, which ended slavery, had been ratified by enough states to become law. Within the next 5 years, 2 more amendments, the 14th and 15th, were passed, giving formerly enslaved people civil rights and voting rights. From Civil War to Civil Rights. After the war, the U.S. government protected formerly enslaved people under a system called Reconstruction. After Reconstruction ended in 1877, the Southern states found ways to get around the 14th and 15th Amendments. They created new rules known as Black Codes and Jim Crow laws to enforce racial segregation and diminish the power of black voters. With the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, black Americans finally obtained and intended by the 14th and 15th Amendment. With those rights still under attack, however, advocates continue to strive for equality and protection under the law. Caption. In 1870, Huron rebels of Mississippi became the first black American elected to the U.S. Senate. Beyond ending slavery, the Civil War established the principle that the United States is an indivisible nation. States, whatever their feelings about their country, do not have the right to secede from the Union. In the years since the Civil War, the nation has seen other times of great strain. Americans continue to be divided today on many issues and in many ways. Yet we remain one nation, the United States of America. Civil War Timeline. November 6, 1860, Abraham Lincoln is elected president. December 20th, 1860, South Carolina, the first of 11 southern states, secedes from the Union. June 8, 1861, Tennessee, the last of the 11 southern states, secedes from the Union. April 12, 1861, the Civil War begins. January 1, 1863, Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation. November 8, 1864, Lincoln is re-elected. January 31, 1865, Congress passes the 13th Amendment. April 14, 1865, John Wilkes Booth shoots Lincoln. April 9, 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrenders to General Ulysses S. Grant. December 6, 1865, Congress ratifies the 13th Amendment.